Version 6 of Project Administrator is a major upgrade. There are lots of new features and we're going to show you a couple of them. The first thing you'll notice when you log on is that there's a new login screen. We've built a whole new security model to replace the access security that we've used in the past. Access security was always very clunky, and we think we've done a much better job so that you can secure the application much more easily. We'll type in user name. In this case we don't actually have a password for this person, but we can elect within Project Administrator to force passwords or not. Click on the login button and we're in. Now the first thing you'll notice is that we've changed the buttons from the traditional Access grey standard buttons. They're now blue buttons, which gives it much better visual appearance. The other thing you'll notice is that there is now a user security button. If you're logged in as sysadmin, you will see user security. Within this section we have the ability to set up people. So in this case we've got sysadmin set up. If I move to the next person, you'll see that we have a username, John Smith, and a password. The password is encrypted so no one can steal the password. We have group maintenance where we set up groups. Now groups are in effect a profile. You can set up a particular profile for people within the organization and then you attach people to it so they all have the same profile. We have here an action screen and you can, under this profile, read, add, delete and update the screen. So all the screens are listed here and you can establish your own profile. You can look at group members to see who's part of this list, and in this case 2 people are part of the administrators group. You can update all group members by clicking here, or you can establish a new group. Now we've set up the profiles, we can go to user maintenance and see who belongs to which particular group. Now sysadmin belongs to administrators group and John Smith doesn't belong to any group. So we can set up a completely separate profile for John Smith. You can attach people to groups and you can move their attachment to groups, so you can detach them. You can also delete this person from the system. There are 2 other tabs, one for forms and one for reports, but these are really just background information and you never have to change them. Now for previous users of Project Administrator, you'll know what a struggle it was to set up project access. Each record had to be individually established. All that's changed. We can view by person and pick a person, such as Ben Smith, and see whether they have access to projects. In this case, Ben Smith doesn't, but we can quickly set him up to have access to all projects. We can also look by project. Select a project and we can see here all the people and we can see which of them has access to the individual project. Another new feature is the ability to record every transaction that takes place. In some organizations, the auditability of the system is very important. Now there is an overhead on the system in that everything has to be saved twice, but for some people that's fine. Once again, go into user security and we have history management and we tick the box to capture history. There is a separate database to do that and you link to the history database. This shows all the transactions that have taken place on the application. If I double click one of them, I see that on a particular date at a particular time, a particular user logon, changed a form, the field name on the form, the old value, the new value, and then it gives me some information that I can track down what record that was. There's a message down here that there was a new record created for group administrators. So this was a change that was done to the security area. We can also track the reports. Who printed what report and when did they print it? So every report is listed and when it was printed and when it was and who requested it. In previous versions of Project Administrator, linking to your database was not a straightforward process. You needed to go to your database window and delete each table. That meant confirming deletion on about 80 tables. In version 6, we've changed all that. Now we have a browse button, and you find the database you want, and then you click link and all the links are done for you. So you just sit there for about 5 seconds and it does all the linking for you. I'm sure people who have had to set up Project Administrator in the past will appreciate this new feature. Another feature is an inbuilt scheduling facility. This is not meant to replace Microsoft Project, but is quite workable for smaller projects, say up to 100 tasks. We need to firstly select a project and then go into Schedule. This is where we input all the information, where we set up our tasks. We can tick the summary task box and the task will be blue and this becomes a summary task. So we have a phase preparation, a duration, a start, a finish, and a percent complete. There's also a column for indent. Think of this as a tab stop. So under preparation phase, the next task is indented one stop. Then the ones in red are milestones. We also have the facility to change some of the options within the Gantt chart. We can change the colors of the screen and the Gantt display. We can change the working days and we can add holidays in. And the calculation of completion date, once you've entered start and duration, will take holidays and working days into account. So once we've put in all the information, we can select a scale and you can look at 8 weeks by day, 12 months by week, 4 years by months and 4 years by quarter. So we display the Gantt, and here we have the Gantt chart. The part that's in black has been completed, and we have part of a summary task completed here, and the part in blue is still incomplete. Red, of course, is milestones. And you can see the indent where that. Another major change to the application is that we now automatically check online for updates. And if there is an update available, it's downloaded and installed for you. If an update is available, you will see the following message. So I've shown you some of the major changes in this version of Project Administrator. There are lots of other minor changes to make your life easier. I'm sure you'll appreciate some of the functional changes, including the new Gantt chart, as well as some of the administrative changes, such as the new security model. All in all, it will make Project Administrator a much more useful and easier to use product to manage your projects.